Hello, hello. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. My name is Cassandra. I am trying to rediscover my spirituality and creativity in motherhood. I am currently doing a cycle syncing series in which I am living in accordance with my cycle and making diet, exercise, lifestyle, and relationship / interpersonal relationship shifts during each phase of my moon cycle. If that is something that you're interested in, then please keep watching. Bonus points if you can guess what phase of my cycle I'm in, just based on my attitude and appearance. Although I'm sure it's listed in the title of the video, but leave a comment below if you were right or wrong. Maybe I'll try to make this one a surprise somehow. I am currently in my ovulatory phase. I am feeling good, baby. I am feeling juicy and limber. I hope it would be great to feel this great all the time, but now that I have been living in more alignment with my cycle, it's just really nice to honor each phase. But I'm feeling really good, y'all, which is no surprise. This is the phase in our cycle in which our body is physically, what it's doing is releasing our eggs, so potentially trying to get pregnant. So your body is like, hey y'all, let's do this. So it's giving you lots of energy and you're probably feeling really good. From a diet and exercise point, I'm actually going to start off first with exercise. Now's a really good time to do HIIT exercises, spin classes, high intensity like weight and cardio, and heavy lifting with weights. At my gym, I decided to just do my traditional weight training and challenge myself with lifting heavier weights. It was really good. It was awesome to feel not as drained and to be able to challenge myself and kind of feel good after each set. There have definitely been times where I have been weight training and I have just felt exhausted throughout the whole exercise. And currently that is the type of exercise that I've mostly been doing postpartum, is like weight training. It's what I was familiar with and what I thought would help my body the most, which I believe is true. It definitely does, but it is so true that there really is a time to challenge yourself with increasing weights and increasing workouts, and it's definitely when you're ovulating. During other phases in your cycle, if you would like to continue to weight train, I just advise not upping your weights, but upping your reps, or doing more sets. It wouldn't be the time to really go for the gold, as to speak, but now is the time to do that and really kick it into high gear when you're at the gym. As far as diet, so the proteins that are recommended are lamb. I actually made bone-in lamb loin chops in the air fryer, which I'm just super jazzed about and like impressed with myself that I did that. I've been challenging myself with different proteins and meats and recipes, which definitely does take some legwork being a mom, but whenever I have a little downtime, maybe during my son's nap or when he's at preschool, if I can look up a recipe or two based on the new meat I have decided to purchase, that is the time I like to do that. Also, it's a big seafood phase. So shrimp, salmon, and tuna are also really great to eat during this time. For lunch, I had actually prepped some salmon for myself. As far as vegetables go, Brussels sprouts and bell peppers are definitely recommended at this time, and tomatoes. Chocolate is something that is great during this phase, as well as raspberries. Raspberries are a good berry to have during this time. Oh, breakfast. Also, a grain that's recommended during this time is quinoa. I went ahead and purchased quinoa flakes for the first time. It's kind of like a mix between like oatmeal and grits, I would say, is a nice compromise. It definitely tastes like quinoa though. If you've eaten quinoa, like, oh, this tastes like quinoa. It's just in a different kind of consistency. But I made it similarly to oatmeal in which I put apricots in it, dried apricots, which is also recommended during this time, and pecans. Pecans are the nut that is recommended during ovulation. So I did apricot pecans and a little maple syrup in there, and it turned into a very tasty and delicious breakfast. Lifestyle. Now is the time for actione. I don't know. Now's the time for action. So go for those big projects in your follicular phase. You did a lot of planning. Now is the time for action. So go ahead and do the stuff that you got to do to get done. It's also a time in which we are most social and communicate a lot. So this is the great time to make plans with your friends. I had a mom get together this weekend, and I was just feeling a lot more present and engaged. Sometimes I come in with low energy, which is definitely understandable as a woman and as a mom, come as you are. But I just felt a little more present and engaged, and initiated conversation more. So I definitely noticed, actually, as I'm reflecting on it now, it's like, wow, yeah, I feel like it did show up a little differently than I normally do. It might have been the same, but it took less effort for me to be as engaged or as, I try to come in kind of bubbly, kind of ready to have fun, bring in good energy, good vibes. But sometimes that takes a lot of energy, and sometimes it's just a little more natural. So it was a little more natural this time. And I also went solo to an event. It was my friend's mother's birthday party, and she was throwing a big bash because it was a big birthday. But I knew my friend was hosting, and then my other friend was going to be there, and then I was going to know no one else. So it was going to be my friend's extended family and her other friends that she's talked about and that I've known. But I showed up solo. We were not able to get childcare. It was during the weekend, so my husband stayed home with my son, and I showed up solo, which also takes a lot of energy, and engage in conversation with the person sitting next to me and other people at our table. So that was also a great time. Okay, one thing about interpersonal relationships: when we are ovulating, we want to feel desired. I don't think that is a surprise to anyone. I am a big old hornball during this phase of my cycle. It's really ridiculous. So that's what we want from our partners. If you're expressing your need to feel desired within your appearance, like possibly dressing a little more sexier or just feeling like a little more into yourself, I feel like when you do that, you are going to get more compliments from anyone, really. A friend can call you out and say, you look good, or your cousin can be like, damn. I don't know how close you are with your cousins, but or your sister, you look really good, sissy. I feel once you put that energy out there, it's going to get noticed, and people will notice. So putting it out there, regardless if you have any romantic interest come back to you, you are getting interest and you are getting that affirmation. You're one hot lady to be desired. All right? All right. Do whatever you need to do to feel good about you. Okay? You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. All right, great. So those are my recommendations for exercise, diet, lifestyle, and interpersonal relationships when you are in your ovulatory phase. I hope you can take some of this information and apply it into your day-to-day life, and apply it into your cycle. Please do not feel overwhelmed. Take whatever you can and leave the rest. I'm just here for a little fun. I'm just here to provide you a little fun, a little information, a little motivation, a little affirmations, whatever you need. You are amazing, and I hope everyone has just an amazing day. I'll see you in the next phase. Bye.